Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Al Shai Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of you elect out there. Shalom to you all. And I'm going to entitle this video, Back to the Basics. This is the beast of Revelation and Daniel. So this right here is a video that I actually paused, as you can see, put up by Midas Touch. Trump booed to his face at NATO after war backfires. The war that hold Israel, Iran, U.S. thing. And he was booed by, citizens. This year's let me see, NATO meeting. Let me go into this. Oh, I was looking at this. You got a lot of Jake saying, well, so-called Jesus is not a black man. He's not a white man. He's Middle Eastern, meaning the Arab. Well, these are Arabs. These are Arabs right here. These are Arabs. See the woolly hair? It's an Arab. An Arab with an afro. Arab. These are all Arabs. I remember her. She was a news person, I believe, with CNN. I don't know if she's retired. This was the former president of, was it Anwar Sadat, if I'm not mistaken, of Egypt. These are Arabs, and they speak Arabic. So when you say, oh, Jesus was a Middle Eastern man, he was an Arab. Yeah, you're right. He looked like this. Look at that. These are all Arabs, dumbasses. Because now the receipts are so overwhelming that it's just stupid to say that he was a white man. But they're not going to say he's a so-called black man. He was an Arab. Well, is he Arabs? Arab? You might say that's a nigga with a turban on. No, he's an Arab. He's an actual Arab that speaks Arabic. Arab? And you had a mixture as well. And you always had a mixture. Black life in the Arab world. These are Arabs. These are Arabs. Nigga. These are Arabs, nigga. These are certain Arabs making mockery of, these are all Arab, Middle Eastern looking type, Indian type, making mockery. Black, they call it blackface hair. Oh, let me see. Give me a second here. Black Arabs. These are Arabs. I don't know if this is makeup. No, this is making mockery. This is an Arab guy making mockery, putting on blackface. She's putting on black. She painted her whole. So she's a whiter looking Arab. This is her right here. So they make mockery of, it's a curse to be black, so to speak. These are actual Arabs trying to lighten their faces, I would guess. Well, look at this. This guy's an Arab. Arab. Black Arab. Arab with a turban on. Arabs. So you're right. The Christ was Middle Eastern looking. Yeah, he looked like this. Arab with a turban on. Arabs. Light-skinned Arab. There's another Arab. Middle Eastern Arab black man. This is why we don't tolerate Christians at all. They're just stupid. They're not based in reality. Anyway, let me get this picture back. So this is the beast right here. This, you can say, is part of the beast. You got the president of France. You got that's the president of Turkey. That's, of course, the president of the U.S., which is also the woman that sitteth upon the scarlet-colored beast. Now, this guy, I don't know who he is, but he looks Jake. You can't see the whole picture, but these are all these represent the leadership of the beast system, and they're all going to push the micro C hip, which is going to be heavily pushed by the lamb that came up with two horns that speaketh as a dragon. That represents America. So they're going to all work together. They're going to have a a bilateral, I think the term is, agreement that all of their citizens got to get that chip, but it's going to spread out to these other nations, these dark nations too. But who's pushing the micro C hip? Coming out of NATO. They're going to have NATO meetings, more NATO meetings and EU meetings. Some of the like the president of France, he's a member of NATO, but he's also a member of the EU. U.S. is a member of NATO, not a member of the EU. Turkey is a member of NATO, but not a member of the EU. You got him looking for the new president of Canada. I believe that's him, if I'm not mistaken. So you got brothers out there that don't understand what or who the beast is. So this is what I did. I typed in the word the beast. I should have just put in beast, but I put in the beast. And it comes up. Let me do this. You got a lot of Christians that say, oh, the beast is the Antichrist. It's a guy with a Brooks Brothers suit. If you shave his head, it's 666 in the back of his head. No. So I put in the beast 623 times and 142 verses in the King James, including 54 extra phrases shown first. And so I went to, like, if you go to the New Testament, Genesis 1 verse 25, and the Elohim made the beasts of the earth, the actual animals. So right here, okay, we're going to go to Daniel. Daniel 7:6. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, and had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. That's the Greeks, which the Greeks are also a part of the beast system. 11 verse, same chapter. I beheld then, because the voice of the great words which the horn spake, that's talking about out of America, I beheld even till the beast was slain, killed. What's going to be slain? The beast system. All these European nations, they're going to, Babylon will be utterly destroyed. There will be a major earthquake. The whole earth is going to quake. So these buildings, these structures around the world, they're going to all come crashing down. So there's going to be a lot of work. We're going to sever out continual employment. I believe that's Ezekiel chapter 39, if I'm not mistaken. I can go to it. But the thing that's going to be the head. When you kill a serpent or snake, you kill the head, and the body dies. So the head of the snake is Babylon the Great. So that's going to be taken out by fire. And the Palestine going to be taken out by fire, but it's going to be rebuilt back up. I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed and given to the burning fire. The fire from what? The missiles. The missiles. All of these prophets that seen this destruction of Esau, they saw this. They saw the same. They got the same vision, but different scenarios. Different. For example, Daniel 2 and Daniel 7. It's talking about the same. It's talking about the Babylonian, Medo-Persian, Greeks, Romans, and the revived Roman Empire. But in Daniel 2, it's talking about a statue, and Daniel 7 is talking about an actual series of beasts. It's talking about the same thing. Because when you go to Daniel 7, it speaks about the beast. The scholars will give you references to the book of Revelation. So now we're going to go to Revelation. So Revelation 1, 2, 3. I'm counting how many times this is the beast or beast is written in the book of Revelation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, 20, 24, 25 times. Rough count. So the beast is an important, a very extremely important part of the scriptures, prophetic scriptures. And most Christians don't touch it. Pam won't touch it. Philip Anthony, what's his name? Mitchell, I think it is. The 2819 church. He's not going to touch it. So let's just go ahead and read some of these scriptures here. Revelation 11 verse 7. Like I said, anybody say, oh, that whole beast thing is not all that important. Oh, really? It's written, beast is written about 25 times in the book of Revelation alone. And when they shall have, Revelation 11 and 7, and every member of GMS should know all of the breakdowns, all of the prophetic breakdowns, namely like Revelation. You should know it like you know the back of your hand. If you don't know it, you got a problem. You got to know them prophecies. Remember, we got a reputation to uphold. According to the chat GPT, GMS is known. I didn't put that. I don't own I don't own the chat. The chat says IUIC is known for their marching, and not too many words, and their order and their discipline and marching and so forth. Although they go into prophecy, I'll give them credit. I'll give Bishop Nate credit. He does go into a lot of the prophecies as well. So I give, because they said they didn't. But this is what happens when you have gimmicks. You know, you look up what are these guys known for? They're not really known for their prophecies, even though they go into the scriptures. They go into the scriptures a lot. You know, we must in IUIC, we all speak about maybe 95% of what we speak is the same. I'm just playing that percentage game. But 5% they're going off on, like the MOTB. I keep bringing it up, right? So and then they said about ISUBK, which is another major camp. He said they're known for their how do they say it? They're known for their militant and drills in the park. This they don't really say. Even though Captain Azariak goes into he goes into the scriptures. He's more scripture based. But when you think about ISUBK, you think about them in the park wearing black, doing all kind of tactical drills. So that's how they know. All you got to do is look it up. I did the video on it. But when they said GMS, they said GMS is known for their raw street speaking and especially prophecies. They're almost exact words. They put a heavy emphasis on prophecy. Didn't I say that about IUIC? Although I give IUIC credit, they do go into prophecies. But see, when you have them gimmicks, that's what people are going to see. You see a guy with a big fucking nose, a big Jimmy the Ranty nose, and who's the guy? Who's this guy that? How do I know? Oh, well, the nigga with a big nose. That's the nigga. You don't be known for having a big nose, you know. That's a gimmick. You know, that marching with the flags and in order, that goose stepping. That's a gimmick. They're also known for blasting, blitzing churches, which always comes out making you guys look like the bad guys. When you went down to the 2819 church, first of all, I wouldn't go down there for the first number one, and number two, if I went down there after about 5 minutes, I'm like, we packing up. These motherfuckers ain't listen. You didn't get not one person. Did you really think you were gonna get people say these guys make sense? I'm gonna join the IUIC. No, I could have told you that. In military, why would you go? The scriptures say count the cost. Whether you go up against, whether you have 1,000 men fighting against 10,000 men, you already know you're gonna lose. So I could have told you, going down to that church is not gonna be a good look. It made you guys look like Bible bullies. It says we're supposed to be sheep in the midst of wolves. So anyway, I made this simple. See, I make things easy for me, man. Revelation 11:7, and when they shall have finished their testimony, the Israelites, the prophets of Israel, the beast, which we know that ascend out of the bottomless pit, shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. And that's what they did. So you go back to the Roman Empire, you bring it up to date, which is the revived Roman Empire. The reason why people say, oh, well, America is not Rome, because it's not being labeled as Rome. But it's the Revelation. You go to any person that claims to know the Bible, specifically prophetic part of the Bible, you say, what does Revelation 13:1 and 2 mean? They should tell you that's talking about the Roman Empire, and the deadly wound being healed was Rome falling, and the revival is America, the EU nation, NATO nation. That's the only answer they should give. If they're giving you something else, it's the Antichrist. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. And trust me, all these Bible scholars, they're watching all our videos. Trust me. And they know that we're telling the truth. Revelation 13:2, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, the Greeks, and his feet like the feet of a bear. That represents the Russians. And the feet represent the end of this man. The bear is going to end you. The Russians were never part of the Roman Empire. There was no such thing as Russia. That was no man's land. That was north of the land of the Medes. That was no man's land. So when you say the original beast 2,000 years ago, and you mention the word Russia in that mix, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And we learned that from the seven. The seven went off. Great men are not always wise. So Russia's not a part of you now. The fact that the NATO alliance was formed at the end of World War II, to combat the Russians. and part of the charter. Let me go to it. And they changed it up. NATO was set up to combat the Russians. If you're part of a NATO nation and the Russians attack you, they attacked all of us. How gonna do? Let me do this. I'm sorry. Let me do this. Let me go to AI mode. I'm sorry. Let me go to all. Let me go to all. Why was NATO formed? Okay, so let me see.
According to Milestones in the History of U.S. Foreign Relations, Office of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization was created in 1949 by the United States, Canada, and several Western European nations to provide collective security against the Soviet Union.
That's why it was set up. So now they mention, I believe it's called Article 5, where it states in the NATO treaty, it states that if Russia attacks any NATO nation, they attacked all of us. So recently, I don't know who said that. I don't know if it was Trump. He says if the Iranians attacked America or any NATO nation pursuant to Article 5 of the NATO treaty, we're going to attack. No, it didn't say that. It was formed specifically because Russia was a power at that time. This was after World War II. Remember, at that time, you also had World War I. You had the ending of World War I. You had the League of Nations, which is nothing but the UN. And what disbanded the League of Nations was World War II, because the promise of the League of Nations was, we're all part of the same, we're one group now, so we can have police actions. We're all under the same jurisdiction, right? So World War II came, they said, fuck, F a damn League of Nations. So then what they did was they repackaged it. Instead of calling it the League of Nations or League of Nations Dual or Part 2, they said, let's call it the United Nations. Guess what? The United Nations is nothing but the League of Nations with a different name. You just gave it another name. That's all you did. You ever go by a business and it's ABC business, it goes out of business, they take the sign down, there's an XYZ business. The only thing they changed was the sign. And it could be the same business that went bankrupt, but it's the same people. I know that for a fact. It happens in Manhattan. There's people that go out of business and they'll get another business name. It's the same people, but it's under the business name because that other business, went bankrupt, so to speak. So she went through it the right way. She said the North Atlantic Treaty Organization was created in 1949 by the United States, Canada, and several Eastern European nations. Is Russia. When you say Eastern European, that's talking about Russia. Western European is talking about England, Spain, Germany, France. Those are Western European nations. And several Western European nations to provide collective security against the Soviet Union. That's what it's for. Like I said, another country attacks, let's say France, then that's between that country and France, not with NATO. So they changed things. NATO was the first peacetime military alliance because it was after World War II. The United States entered outside of the Western Hemisphere, right? Because the United States, when you look at a world map, is not in Western Europe, and Canada too, because it mentions Canada. So that's the beast right there. Let me give you a picture. These are the representatives, the elected representatives. Well, wait a minute. Why is this guy there? He's not a member. I just noticed something. He's not a member of NATO. He wanted to be a part of NATO, but they wouldn't let him. Why? Because as soon as the Ukraine becomes a part of NATO, that's World War III. That's Armageddon. The very minute Ukraine becomes a part of the NATO alliance, and a missile is lobbed on Ukraine from Russia, that's World War III. So they're playing games here, right? They're playing games. Look at this. Look at that. We are not ignorant to Satan's devices. And they're going to all be in agreement with the MOTB. All these nations are going to push the MOTB. So you got a lot of explaining to do, IUIC and ISUPK and whatever other Israelite group, fringe Israelite group out there that say, oh, the mark of the beast is sin, or however you'll break it down. It's an embargo. You're going to have a lot of explaining to do. If you have members of the elect among your group, guess what? Most are going to tap their pineal gland, open their ass up, and they're going to leave you, man. They're going to leave you. Straight up. Straight like that. So, I'm sorry. Let me go back to the scripture. Back to the basics. Okay, Revelation 13 and 12. And the beast which I saw was like unto, this is what John saw those people or the system, right? He saw an actual beast which represent those European nations. Leopard in the feet like unto a bear, because the bear Russia's going to bring this place down. Your foundation is your feet. And his mouth as the mouth of a lion that represents Great Britain. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Now people say the dragon is Satan. No, the dragon is really the dragon is interchangeable with the word beast. If you go to Revelation chapter 12, it says the dragon, with the dragon's tail pull down a third part of the heavens, which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. What that was talking about Herod, because he was part of the dragon. He's the tail of the dragon. And I saw one of his heads as it was wounded to death. That's talking about the ancient Roman Empire. That Jake took it over. Jake did not take it over. The first Jake to become a Roman emperor was not Septimius Severus 193 AD. If Bishop Nate did some deep research, instead of regurgitating what Yeshaya, high priest Yeshaya said, he would not say that. The first Jake that became emperor of Rome was after the death of Domitian, the younger brother of Titus, the son of Vespasian. After him, you had Nerva. Then he was one of the five good emperors. One of the five good emperors was what's his name? Marcus Aurelius. He's featured in the movie Gladiator. So stop it. We took over the Roman Empire, man. That's why I said the eagle died, and not too many words in what is it? Second Ezra's 11 and Second Ezra's 12, which none of these camps know. We put the video up there, so they should know it now. And they'll say, oh, it's talking about America. No, it's not talking about America. It's talking about the Roman Empire from Julian Caesar to what's his name? I just mentioned his name. The son of Domitian Caesar. So it was more than 12, but there was principal 12. So Second Ezra 11 in 2nd Ezra 12, which no Israelite groups were able to break it down. We were the ones that broke it down fully. Because the Spirit, because we, as Chad say, GMS is known for their heavy emphasis on prophecy. And if you have a heavy emphasis on prophecy, that makes you prophets. You other guys are just Israelites. You just Israelites, man. You're just citizens of Israel. That's it. That think you're prophets. He that think he's something and is nothing deceiveth himself. I'm merely paraphrasing. I believe the Apostle Paul said that. Okay. And his deadly wound was healed. The power came out of Rome. The capital came out of Rome. The rebirth came out of Spain. Came out of Spain. And all the world, in the oikoumene sense, wondered after the beast. Fourth verse, and they worshiped the dragon and gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast. That's not talking about America. It's talking about these Western European nations and U.S. and Canada, who was able to make war with him. And they deceived them, 14th verse, that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, technologies. The mark is a miracle. You can put a chip in somebody's head and they're blind, they can see, they can't walk, now they can walk. They can't talk, now they can talk. So these are miracles, technology, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast. The image of the beast is not a picture of Caesar Borgia. You sound utterly stupid and idiotic when you make a statement like that. The image has absolutely nothing to do with Caesar Borgia. They're not going to walk around giving you telling you to commit sin in all of the forms and kiss Jesus if you want to make a purchase. It's not talking about that. Showing you that Nate doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And he's not going to change it up, because as soon as he changes it up and he starts teaching it like the way we teach it, the right way, we're going to say, see, this dude came around. He's going to look like a real jackass. He's going to look like a monkey's uncle. I haven't used that. That's an old term. He's going to look like a monkey's uncle when that chip comes. So you better hope that chip never comes. Which had the wound by a sword and did live. It went down. Jake took it over. Jake went down. Jake had rulership for 1,000 years. Simultaneously, Esau was on the bottom. We were kicking him in the ass. We were running shit. So here again, the beast is not talking about the Antichrist. There's no such thing as no Antichrist. Look at this. Wow. 15th verse. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, meaning the system. There's going to be a system, right? That the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Nobody's going to say, here's a picture of Caesar Borgia, bow down to it. If you don't, I'm not bowing down to it, I'm Muslim. Okay, chop his head off. No, that's not going to happen. 17th verse. And that no man might buy or sell. Literally buy. It could be a Snicker bar. It could be a pair of Nikes. It could be a car. It could be a loaf of bread. When you go to the store and you pick up a loaf of bread or a couple of different things and you cash out, you're buying something. Whether you're buying a house or buying a building, buying a Mack truck, buying a Snicker bar, it's buying. It actually means buying or selling. You can have a little business when you're selling shit, right? You know? You can have a car. You go to the car dealership. You want a newer car, and you want to try to trade in your other car. They're gonna give you low ball you. So what you do is you say, let me put it in the ad. Let me put it in Craigslist, because I really want 5,000 out of it. And you might just get 4,000. The dealer might say, I'll give you 2,000 towards it. No, I ain't with that. So that's selling, by the way. That's selling. So you won't be able to participate in this grid unless you have a mark. And that word mark is charagma, which is a physical thing. of the name of the beast and the number of his name. Here's 18th verse. Here's wisdom. Let them that have understanding count the number of the beast. In case you forgot, this is the beast right here. That's the beast. That's the leadership of the beast. Like I said, Zelensky is not a member of the beast, but and they knew exactly what they were doing is not making him a member. He's begging to be a member. As soon as that happens, that's World War II, World War III. That's Armageddon. That's the end of this man's system. So strategically, they know what they're doing. And we know what's going on because we're the prophets. 18. Here is wisdom. Here's the one that that are wise. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Anytime your black ass goes to the store and buys something, whether you go to self checkout, or I always go to self checkout, unless there's not a self checkout. Like if I go to BJ's, no matter what I get, I might get no more than 5 or 6 things. I'm in and out. That if I go to any BJ or any store like that, I go in. And I know I know what I'm going to get. I get it. Bop bop beep bada bop. I'm in and out. 10 minutes tops, and I cash out. Boom. I cash out. Right. Ultimately, you need a mark, a microchip in your forehead or in your hand in order to make purchases, in order to sell things, in order to be a part of the grid. Like I said, you guys that are teaching contrary to what the mighty GMS is teaching, you're going to look like jackasses and monkeys' uncles. And the third angel followed Revelation 14. And the word beast in relation to this system is written in Revelation 25 times. So it's got to be an important topic. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark, get microchip in his forehead or in his hand. So worshiping the image is talking about being a part of the grid. If you're in the military, if you're in the army, for example, in order for you to continue in the military, you have to get chipped. If you don't want to get chipped, you get a dishonorable discharge. And then when you come home, and a lot of women in my Trump voice, a lot of women, they're going to get that chip because they're going to miss a couple. You're going to explain it to them. They're going to listen to you. And then they're going to miss a couple of meals. And then they're going to, like I'll give you a story. This is Day of Atonement. And Apostle Kabar kept it along with Apostle not a rhyme lob, but Apostle Rakar, not a rhyme lob. Anyway, he was staying at overnight. He was staying at Apostle Kabar's house crib with his woman. So she was calling herself an Israelite. So he said, "Oh, we got to keep the Day of Atonement I believe an hour in of the atonement. Let's say the sun went down 7 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, she was like, I'm hungry. I can't do it. I got to eat. And she ate. So this is, I don't put no emphasis on no goddamn women. She couldn't give a hour and 2 minutes to that fast. So she broke the fast. And we've been doing the fast for so long. It's nothing. You know? Hey, when the sun go down at the end of the fast, we taking our time thinking about what we're gonna eat. We ain't got to play back in the day. You had to play the food ready for your ass. We don't do that. And then you be saying in your mind, damn, I should go another day doing this, because your body adjusts. When you do fast, which is called a dry fast, it gets you in tune with the spirit, the great spirit, the Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Ruach HaKodesh, because they all work together. And also, it resets your body. If you this is what they say, okay? If you got diseases, you go on the fast, your body resets, it heals itself. You get a dose of vitamin C, real vitamin C, from the sun. There was a scene in the up-and-coming Superman where they showed him all fucked up. And Crypto, the dog, Super Dog, the Superman character whistled, and it was in the snow, and Superman was laid out. Kal-El was laid out. So he told Crypto, the dog, to take him to the lair. So it had the Superman symbol, the thing, and it was robots that tended to him. And the head robot, Superman said thank you. So the head robot said, well, you don't got to thank us, because we don't deal with the concept of being appreciated. We just do our job. And robot does translate into the word slave. Let me prove that. Okay, so now we got that out the way. We know that the beast is NATO. Somebody say he's the Antichrist, you don't want to talk to him. Let me see. What is the root word for robot? Ooh! Thank you. AI overview. The word robot originated from the Czech word robota, meaning forced labor or drudgery. When you say you got a robot, that's a slave. They want to do away with all humans working, and they want to have robots do all the work. Just machines to make all big decisions. That's from the song Donald Fagen's IGY. I'll go into the lyrics in a minute. It was popularized by Czech writer Karol, I guess a CPAC, in his 1920 play RUR Resum Universal Robots, which introduced the concept of artificial humans designed for labor. That's why they're going to come out with a thing called universal basic income, because robots are going to do everything. And the word robot is from the Czech word robota, meaning forced labor or drudgery. Suggested the term during Old Church Slavonic word robota. It's give me a second. It's Slavic, and I believe Slavic means slave. Slavic root rad, meaning slave. All right. So now, IGY Donald Fagen lyrics. I want the lyrics, y'all. It was a great song, by the way. I remember the first time I heard this song. This is when they used to have the record shops. So you older brothers out there, remember when they had the record shops? They had the LPs, and then they had the 45s, and they went to straight LPs. Anyway, I went to this one record shop in the 80s, and they'll play different songs. So you can say, what song is that? Oh, I got the album. They sell out, So I went in there, and it was Jake all up in there and Esau. And when that song was playing, Jake was moving. Some Jakes were going up and down. Some Jakes were going side to side. Some Jakes were bopping them head. And he looks like an Edomite, but he's just straight up. That's a Jake. So I want the lyrics. IGY, what a beautiful world, right? I want the lyrics. Which IGY stands for International Geophysical Year, which took place, I believe, is in 1956 and 1957. It was dealing with technology. So that's what the song was all about. And this song came out in 80-something. And it's a great song. It's a classic song. You listen to the song, you will bop your head. Okay, let me see. Let me go to just right. This is it right here. It says on that train, all graphite and glitter, undersea by rail, 90 minutes from New York to Paris. More leisure for artists everywhere. That's not part of the lyrics. I thought it was just machines. A just machine to make big decisions. So their plan is work is going to be done by robots. So people that are on the earth, they're not going to have anything to do. There was a Wang, what is his name, Yang Wang. He was a presidential candidate, Chinese guy. Then he tried to become mayor of New York City, and he was the first guy to say we got to do a thing called UBI, Universal Basic Income, where everybody gets paid. They don't got to work. You can work, but you still get paid by the government. So I said that shit sounded crazy. But now you got politicians. Now they're using that word. We're gonna look up the word UBI, right? Because if you want the people to stay alive and eat, you got to feed them. And you can't say I'm willing to work. We got robots to do it. A just machine to make. Now I guess the word just, like I said, I thought it was just machines. It was a just machine to make big decisions, programmed by fellows with compassion and vision. Wise people will be clean or righteous or holy when that work is done, will be eternally free, yes, and eternally young. That's Psalms 140, was it Psalms 49 and 11, where they think they're going to keep going, and robots is the thing of the future. So everybody going to get chipped, but you got to get a chip. What a beautiful world this will be. What a glorious time to be free. And that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. That's their plan. But listen to this song if you haven't listened. Okay, so now let me look up the word UBI. UBI. UBI meaning. UBI stands for Universal Basic Income. They might mention Yang or Wang's name in here. It is a social welfare. By the way, this system is not a democracy. It's a democratic socialist system, which most European countries are democratic. I met people from France and different parts of the world, from Europe, and I say, what kind of system do you have? They'll say it's a democratic socialist system. That's exactly what America is. It's a democratic socialist system. It's not a democratic system. A democratic system would be if there's 300, if there's 150 million grown-ups, 18 or able to vote. Anytime there's a law passed, they would have what is called a referendum, and everybody would get that referendum, and it would be whoever decides on one than the other. They say, okay, 60% say we should do it, 40% say no, it's passed, the 60% wins, right? That's true democracy, which is a series of referendums. Look up the word referendum. See, y'all don't know how the system works. See, we know how the system works, and we know how to filter it through the scriptures. If you knew how the system worked, you would not be teaching that the mark of the beast is sin in all of its forms. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Hey, like Trump, you don't know what they don't know what the fuck they're doing. It is a social welfare program where everybody gonna be on welfare. All citizens of a given population, and everything. Another thing, a part of the MOTB system is 15-minute cities. Their plan is to do away with cars. Regularly receive a minimum income, typically in the form of a direct cash payment, without any work requirements, which is welfare state, or means testing, according to Wikipedia and Investopia. This payment is intended to be unconditional and regular. You're supposed to get it every month or every week, such as monthly, like you get your welfare checks and your food stamps, and is meant to ensure a basic standard of living for everyone. Socialism, according to the standard basic income lab. They didn't mention Wang. He was the first one. What does mean U.S.? Let me do this. Who first came up with the concept of UBI? They ain't giving this guy credit. A while goes back before him. Okay, so Thomas Paine's universal basic income. A ground rent of paid individual. Give me a second here. Is this the Thomas Paine of history? What were Paine's two main points? Let me just look up Thomas Paine. Thomas Paine and universal basic income. Thomas Paine, the intellectual architects of the American Revolution. So we're talking about the 1700s. So this concept's been around for more than 200 years, is considered one of the earliest advocates for a system resembling universal basic income, UBI. He articulated his idea in his 1797 pamphlet, Agrarian Justice. So everybody got to, which is a form of communism. Let me do this. Is it Yang or Wang? Let me see. Yang. Okay. Okay, the Freedom Dividend, Yang, 2002 2020, Andrew Yang for president. Andrew Yang's freedom dividend is a proposal universal basic income. So the actual person that said that was Thomas Paine back in the 1700s. So this is not a new idea. UBI policy that would provide every adult U.S. citizen with $1,000. Now it's got to, just for inflation, it should be $2,000 a month, which is $500 a week, regardless of income. Meaning, it's a supplement. You can work and make money, but we're gonna give you this extra money, right? And that's part of their plan with the mark of the beast. It's going to be a point where you're going to have robots doing everything, like the song IGY Donald Fagen says. It says, I thought it was just machines, but it's a just machine. A just machine will make big decisions. So now let's come on back. So now the elder, DC, head of DC, the elder, which he's great in the Hebrew, Monaghan, I was watching a video that he did a live, and he was dealing with the chat. I guess he saw me doing the chat GBT, but I got it from somebody. Somebody did it, and I said, let me try it. Now, chat GBT gives you a lot of information. But he was going into, you got to watch the video. He was, what the hell was he going into in particular? You know, he was going into technology, and because I caught it kind of in the middle. I got to watch the whole thing. But he was pretty much saying the same thing I'm saying, that the mark of the beast is a technical thing. It's a technical thing. And like I said, their plan is to have robots doing everything, a just machine to make big decisions, and everybody to have the chip and receive a UBI, Universal Basic Income, and inside of a 15-minute city. So, you know, you want to get deep, you got to get with the GMS. You know, you want to get too deep, you got to get with the GMS. You want to go one deep, you got to get with the IUIC. Bishop, that's why we say we believe he sold out. Anybody that's teaching contrary to what we're teaching concerning the beast, they sold. That's our thing. We can't prove that. We ain't trying to prove it. But in this time, late in the game, you should have been already knew that, man. You should have been said, look, we were wrong. It is the microchip. You know when you guys are gonna see it when it actually comes to pass. You're gonna get that eureka moment. You're gonna experience what is it? An epiphany. You're gonna have an epiphany as to whether you're in the right organization or not. This is serious business right here. This is not a game. You guys got to be more like the church. At least try to be like the Church of Berea. 11th verse, Revelation 14:11, and the smoke of their torment, and it's not talking about hell, ascended up forever and ever. That's talking about Babylon on fire. And it's going to go up there for a long time. And they have no rest day or night. They're going to be going into captivity who worship the beast and his image, whosoever receiveth the mark of his name, which is the micro C hip. The word mark is a physical thing. 15:2. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire. We're going to look down at only with thine eyes shall thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. That's Psalms 91. We're going to be in the ship. We're going to watch. Part of the prophecy is we're going to see this place being destroyed. It said the apostles and the prophets shall rejoice in Revelation 18. And them that had gotten the victory over the beast. Who's going to get the victory over the beast? The elect of Israel and their families. And over his image. It's not Caesar Borgia, it's the system. It's the grid. And over his mark, which is the microchip. If you take that microchip, you're done. And over the number of his name, which is based upon 666, which is a universal product code. Anytime you go and cash out, you hear that beep, beep. You just wave where the universal product code is, which the two end lines and the middle two skinny lines represent 6. So it's based upon 6. So the 666 system been around in the 70s. All right. It says beast and over his image and over his mark and over the number of his name stand on the sea of, meaning we're gonna be on the top of the sea of glass looking down. We're going to be in above the firmament looking down on the sea of glass, having the harps. We're going to hear music. We're going to hear beautiful. You're going to hear music that you never heard before. This music, this angelic music, David was able to play angelic music. The Levites were able to sing angelic songs. And these angelic music and these angelic songs pushes out demons and summons in righteous spirits. So we're never going to, you know that saying, he woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Guess what? Every morning we're going to wake up on the right side of the bed with our soldiers at attention. You know, you got your girl, you living with your girl, you want to get that morning pickup, right? You're going to get that morning pickup every day except for high holy days and the Sabbath. And she's going to get pregnant. And 16, and the first went out and poured out his veil upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast and upon them which worship his name. That's talking about a cancer. Now, this woman studied the mark. She said, don't take the, Edomite looking woman. She could be a Jake. Don't take the mark because I did research on it. I've been doing this for 20 years, and you can get cancer from it. Dogs have gotten cancer from it. And she said that the cancer metastasizes, which means it spreads throughout the body. And the fifth angel poured out his, Revelation 16:10, and the fifth angel poured out his wrath upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues for pain, weeping and gnashing of teeth. 13 verse, Revelation 16:13. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frog come out of the mouth of the dragon. The dragon is interchangeable with the word beast. So the dragon is talking about Rome, is talking about the Roman system, which the power seat comes out of one of 3 city-states, which is London, England, right? The decision makers come out of London, England, the super elite. And out of the mouth of the beast represents DC, or the what do you call it? The not the Vatican. The Pentagon. The Pentagon. The shape of it is a pentagon. The shape of the building is a pentagon. You know, you got a pentagram, then you got a pentagon. Okay, you got hexes and so forth. That's a satanic symbol. They get their power from the left-hand side. The mouth of the beast and the mouth of the false prophet. The false prophet represents the Roman Catholic Church and all the daughter churches. All Christians, every Christian, they are connected to the false prophet. That includes Pam. Revelation 17:7. And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman, which is America, and the beast that carrieth her, which is NATO and the EU. We showed you the picture. He represents the woman, and this is the beast that carrieth her. So America is the unofficial head of leader of the NATO alliance. So ultimately they're gonna hate her, because he puts his foot in his mouth all the time. He always does these stupid things. So we're showing you who the beast. What does the beast look like? There it is, the beast. This is the beast represent. This is representation of the beast, the leaders of the beast. Okay. Right, it says, I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. And John didn't understand it even when it was explained to them. We understand it. 8 verse, Revelation 17 verse 8, the beast that thou sawest was and is not, that's the Roman Empire, and shall descend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. That's talking about NATO, and it's in particular, it's talking about America going into perdition. Perdition means destruction, damnation. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the earth. The elect are chosen from the foundation of the elect. If you're part of the elect from the foundation of the earth, you will never go off. You come into this thing, you fall out, you were never part of the elect. You were never chosen from the foundation of the earth. Of the world, when they beheld the beast that was and is not and yet is. The yet is Rome coming back, but it's called America, and it's connected to the rest of the beast system, which is EU and NATO. Scholars know this, but they don't want to say it. They don't want to admit that they're the beast. And damn sure it ain't no black churches saying it. Black churches, they just gone. They just gone. Forget about them. 11 verse, not in the 17th chapter. Wow. Revelation 17:11, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th. That's America. Came out of Great Britain. And is of the 7. Not the 7th, but the 7. And goeth into perdition. So what's going to go into perdition? Utterly destroyed. Matter of fact, let me do this. Let's look up the word perdition. Perdition. Let's listen to the word.
Strong's G 684. Apoleia.
Apoleia means to destroy. It means destruction. Destroying. Utter destruction. Babylon the Great will be utterly destroyed. Yahushua used Gehenna to describe what's going to happen to Babylon the Great. When he says there should be weeping and gnashing of teeth, he said the place where the worm dieth not. He was talking about Babylon the Great. That's the place that anybody that, when you go to Matthew's 10, 14, I believe, Matthew's 10:14, you can read a couple of verses above and a couple of verses below. Really, you can start from the first verse or the 5th verse. And so when you go and give your peace to the people, if they don't accept your peace, take your peace back, for it will be more tolerable for Sodom and Gomorrah than it would be for that city or that town. Meaning, those people that rejected you 2,000 years ago, they're here in America, and they're getting ready to eat a missile. They're going to take the chip, and they're going to eat a missile. Because you Israelites rejected the prophets. And these same people are rejecting us today. So every church is going to be on fire. Every Christian in America is going to die by this destruction. Of vessels, of perishing, ruin, destruction, of money, the destruction which consists of eternal misery in hell. Well, hell is America. Hell represents death. There's no such thing as an eternal hell. Stop listening to these blockheads teaching you that, like Nate, that blockhead. He's teaching you that there's an actual hell and the zombies. What do? They do what they always do. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. They write the notes, they memorize, and then they defend it. Them guys are gone. Them guys are gone. I feel sorry for them guys. Okay. 12, we almost finished. 12 verse, Revelation 17. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no power as yet, but receiveth power as kings 1 hour with the beast. And that's talking about the EU joining. NATO was set up in 1949. The EU nations, which some or most of the NATO nations are also EU nations. The EU nations came about in, officially, I believe it was 1958. So we're talking about 10 years after. So they came together. NATO was formed about 10 years before EU. So that's what that's talking about. So the EU and NATO are interchangeable. Either economically or militarily. 13 verse, same chapter. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast, unto NATO. Victory of the Lamb. Revelation 17 and 14. These shall make war with the Lamb. Who shall make war with the Lamb? The NATO alliance. They're going to attempt to make war. They're going to send their F-35s, their stealth, whatever technology they have. They're going to use it against the angels, led by Yahweh Shai. Second in command is Michael the Archangel, Ma'aka'Allah, who is like God. Like Ma'aka'Allah means God like, loosely translated, who is like God. And they're going to wipe Esau out. That's in Revelation chapter 12. And the Lamb shall overcome them. They're going to be wiped out of the sky. Read Revelation 12. There shall be no place found in heaven. In other words, they're going to wipe them. They're going to wipe them out. And they're going to have fun doing it too. It said they were scared and yet durst fight. They're going to try to attempt to turn around and escape. They said, we can't deal with these beings. And the angel them, they're going to take control of the instrument panel and make them fly to them so they can knock them out the sky. So that's them chips, plus they're going to have spiritual power. So they're gonna take control of those, whatever technology you have, the F-35s. They're gonna take control of that. They're gonna take control of that. You motherfuckers are done. Y'all just enjoy yourself. Take out that goddamn bucket list and start going down the line. All right? It says, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. 15 verse, same chapter. I'm going to say this. All you men and women, but mainly you men that came into Israel and went back into the world like everything's cool. You just went back in the world. You went back to your life. You're going to take a chip and you're going to be destroyed. And the Most High going to keep the spirit on your ass to stay your black ass here in America. All you guys that came in here, Ramayallah, Yum Yun, all you motherfuckers, Taz, which we call them Zombie Bomb, all you niggas, Jeshaya, Kazak, all of you, Lahab, all of you, every last one of you that did not endure to the end, you're gonna take that chip and Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai gonna make you eat a missile. All praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai for that. Then your black ass is going to come back to us. You ain't going to burn in hell. It ain't too bad. You're just going to burn up, die. Your spirit's going to go in the spiritual realm. And then you're going to come back as little babies in the kingdom of heaven. It's not that bad. Could be worse. You could be an Edomite. Not the best time. 2025, 2026, not the best time to be an Edomite. Or two-third Jake in America. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, which is America, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. That's America was also known as a great melting pot. 16 verse, same chapter. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. Ultimately, they're going to all hate the whore. These shall hate the whore and shall make her desolate. That's Obadiah 1 and 7. Lay the wound under thee. And naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire, nuclear fire. When I last checked, the NATO nations or EU nations that possess ICBM intercontinental ballistic missiles are 2. France is one of them, and the UK is another. It doesn't say too much about the other NATO or EU nations. But France, matter of fact, let me give you the receipts. NATO nations that possess ICBM missiles. Only one NATO nation possesses ICBM intercontinental ballistic missiles, the United States, while other NATO nations like Belgium, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, and Turkey participated in the NATO nuclear sharing program. They do not own or control their own nuclear weapons, including ICBMs. These nations store and maintain U.S. Nuclear weapons with U.S. personnel involved. Okay, so they got missiles over there. But it used to say, well, here it is. Here it is. France and the UK are NATO nations. So why did it say what it say? Only one NATO nation possesses ICBMs, and it says United States. That's not true. It says United States, Russia, China. These are all the nations that possess intercontinental ballistic missiles. The United States, Russia, China, France, China. All of these missiles are going to be spilled pursuant to Jeremiah. India, let the weak say I'm strong. The great equalizer of the ICBM missile system. The United Kingdom has ICBMs. France has ICBMs. Russia damn sure got ICBMs. Israel possesses ICBMs. And North Korea possesses ICBMs, are the only countries known to have operational ICBMs. Pakistan is the only nuclear armed state that does not possess ICBM. But what did I get? India does. So there you go. They shall hate the whore. For the Most High have put it in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and to give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of the Most High be fulfilled. 18th verse, and I'm going to close. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, Babylon the Great, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. So the unofficial official leader of NATO is the United States. And they're going to wind up hating the unofficial leader of the NATO nations. So any of them that possess these missiles, and they might build a missile inside of the next 6 months or so. So anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom on to the next shalom.